Alright, how about now? Think I might have fixed it, but I'm not sure if I gotta restart any software. Opponent with the unfortunate Boseiju there. Yep, so I think I fixed the problem in OBS, but with OBS you never know if you need to restart things before it actually works. Keep poking around in there in the meantime. Alright, opponent gonna attack, do some nasty things. So what I'm hoping for is that our opponent doesn't actually have that much counterspell interaction, more interaction to protect their own stuff. So like obviously could run into some spell snares probably, but maybe not much else. All right, can y'all hear me now? Excellent. Okay. Talking into the void is no fun, so apologies for that one. I'm going to put back a few gambits here. None of my proliferate stuff showing up yet, so let's go impulse. Awesome. And thanks y'all for being here again. Excuse me. Alright, Volt Charge gets us to proliferate territory. Big score is going to cost 2. We might have to wait until next turn to get any of this done, which I think we can do. Yep, and we're a little ways off from Alchemist's Gambit not just killing us instantly, so... And again, we're trying something new, trying one of the most difficult decks I can put together. Playing it live on stream while talking. It's going to be good. Croaking Counterpart. Alright. Well, at least it's not a Rot Priest. I will take it. Don't you touch that. I see you reading it. Don't you touch that apparatus. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're not playing Terra Sunder, right? Don't do it. Oh, you did it. All right. Fair enough. Alright, we've got a second Urabrask. We need 4 for the Mind Splice to really get things going. Extra turn not doing us too much good, but opponent not really that threatening now. Let's try to play Urabrask and get it down on the board. Mind Splice end of their turn and go from there. I will say this version, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the historic version, but this standard version is way more complicated to play There's one way to win pretty much with this. And it's sitting in our hand right now. Whereas the other one, you just kind of fall into it by drawing cards continuously. All right, March. They're kind of showing some interaction here, so I'm gonna bite my Urabrask. Yeah, no respect for the 7 cards in that hand. So this deck does a lot, but it's mostly concerned about its own stuff on the board, whereas when we get going, we only care about going to the face. So if they can disrupt our Mind Splice, that's really what we care about, but the rest of it is just kind of inconveniences in the way. It's that classic combo deck thing. Okay, yeah. Oh, it was definitely a setting issue on my end. Had it set up, I think, for recording, and don't really need to know the specifics of it, but yeah, it was still set up for that, where it records to 2 separate things, but doesn't push it out to doesn't push my audio out to the stream. All right. Alright, so counter for our thing. No more Mind Splice. Let's see what we could have found at least with this. Yeah. So I think we're going to switch over to a bombardment list. And there was a commenter who really wanted to see cut your losses with Arcane Bombardment and complete the circuit. That really didn't work out in my testing, so I made a different version in Alchemy that uses display of power. I haven't actually tested it out yet, but it could work. So we could switch over to some Alchemy or try out a standard bombardment list. If y'all have a preference, just let me know. That hurts. Sorry, y'all. We're going to get a win one of these days live on stream. It's my promise to you. All right, let's see if I've got something. Come on, old computer. All right. So yeah, I was doing a lot of Alchemy, but that was mostly for display of power purposes. Everybody was playing Bowmasters. Just getting back into standard now. I also have this battle Tolvata list that I wanted to try and cram Italy into, so I came up with that today. Here's our display of power Arcane Bombardment list we can do. Even might even go back to like a red-black bombardment list here too. So yeah, this is almost a standard list, just so we can try and test out some cut your losses. So let's give it a try. Come on, PC. Let's go. We're doing Alchemy. We're going to do that one. So part of the reason why, Complete the Circuit doesn't work is that, A, it's super expensive, and so we need to discard it first to get it to work with Cut Your Losses. And display is just so much better because we can copy stuff on the stack, whereas things like, what's the other card? So Complete the Circuit, Geist Flame something. It's the red and blue one that copies a spell. Gosh, why can't I think of that card? Anyway, it's got flashback. But yeah, you copy your next spell. So even if Cut Your Losses is under Bombardment, that spell won't copy the Cut Your Losses. It's very, very confusing. Brotherhood's End off the top. Sensing some pain in my deck names. Yeah, coming up with new stuff to play gets harder and harder, especially we're like a month out from Eldraine at least. No, month and a half. I've never seen this card before. Okay, yeah, cool. Pass that on back. Yeah, it's difficult coming up with new stuff to play. So that's why we're kind of branching out in some formats a little bit. Is this Alchemy Goblins? We'll bounce that back to the hand. It's painful blue mana, but we'll take it. Ouch, that was a painful Jace. Ben, I do not play Paper Magic currently. I've been getting into Commander more, which is nice to play over Spell Table, the online client that you can play with webcams. So I've been playing with some folks that way, which is kind of fun. Commander, very dangerous for somebody who likes to actually collect paper cards. The one of rule just makes you collect all kinds of things. But no, I've played Paper off and on. Did some F&Ms. Did some Pro Tour qualifiers way back when. So, you know, why couldn't people have been playing these decks when I was recording videos? 4 damage to target creature, Planeswalker. Excess, you note the damage, you get a boon. When you cast your next creature, it perpetually gets that. Okay, gotcha. We're going to absorb energy on that, decrease the price of our other stuff. Not a Bowmasters in sight. They did just nerf some things, though, that go kind of near Bowmasters, but not the Masters themselves. And they banned Fable in Alchemy, too. A little early, because Fable is still on the 2-year standard rotation cycle, so as soon as Eldraine hits, it's going to lose a bunch of sets. Alright, all of our board wipes are going to hurt Jace here. So I think we'll play with Fire the Enthusiast. Thoughts on Papa Hasbro? You talking about Commander Masters pricing or strategies with different formats? Ouch, they've got the Strangle for Jace anyway. Would have loved to have squeezed a card draw out of that. Alright, there is a Conjured Enthusiast joining the table. All this is making me wonder what the black is in here for. So yeah, Wizards, and I guess by extension Hasbro as a company, like, they're going to keep trying to make money, and one way that they've found to do that is to, like, expand into Commander pretty big, because it gives them a huge market, secondary market, and interest in all of those old cards. It's a great, fun, casual format, and so they've been trying to get money out of that since, with kind of the falling apart of competitive play, that's kind of more of the draw for more people. And to be fair, it's probably brought a lot more people into the game. But yeah, no, it's becoming an expensive hobby. And so, I don't know, it's, as kind of an old Magic player, let's go ahead and take this turn here, then I can talk at you some more. Easy Brotherhood's end here as we wait for the late game pieces of our deck to show up. So yeah, release frequency and pricing. Pricing, I've come to the realization where... I'm sorry, I have to read all these cards. Nothing I can do about that. Not all the products are for me. And so they're trying to hit like two audiences at the same time. And you see this in kind of like the regular set releases for me. Like, you're going through a spoiler for a standard legal set that's coming up, and there's some stuff that's very clearly pushed for, you know, the more competitive standard play. These goblins are so interesting. But then, like, also half the spoiler looks like it's for Commander. So they're really dipping into two audiences at the same time. But you know, if you're a person who plays Commander less, you might stock up on Commander cards maybe, you know, a couple times a year. You might get stuff that's like, you know, 15 cents a piece. And so in that respect, like, it's not a huge deal. But, you know, if you want to stay competitive, then I can see the pressure building where you have to pick up these new sets to keep up with the power of your play group. If everybody's doing, oh, they've got green in the deck. All right, well, we're slamming this regardless. I can see the pressure where you've got to keep up with all the releases, and yeah, especially the pricing of the product too. For fun, I think I picked up a couple of packs of Modern Masters, I think it was, whatever the one that was out last summer. I was like, this is fun, but it really feels like I'm playing the lottery. Like, I'm just going for that chance of opening something expensive, and it's just kind of fun to open cards sometimes. So yeah, there's no way about it. Things are getting pricey, but I've kind of resolved myself where, like, I'm not really going to buy the pricey things. If I'm going to play Commander, it's going to be, you know, I'm going to use cheap stuff. Because, I'm a cheap person, but there are so many cards to choose from. It's like you can get pretty similar effects with cards that aren't that pricey. So, I don't know. I think a lot of people are worried about it damaging the long-term value of the brand, but, you know, they're going to get feedback on it from the number of people who buy this stuff anyway, so I don't know. Let's go big score here. Discard Fading Hope. It's going to give us some mana and some options, and we need to see some more cards. I've already forgotten what this does. When it dies. Yeah, sure, you can have that back. Hey, there we go. We might actually get to cut some losses. All right. Yeah, apologies, opponent. I'm taking way too long. Yeah, although it has gone up, Ben. Yeah, and Jones, we're live streaming right now, my friend. We're right here. Yeah, Bombardment has actually gone up since it was released. I've been trying to pick up a copy here and there. I actually do have, I have one physical copy of the card that I made a commander deck around. And since you can't have an enchantment as your commander, we've done, God, War Boss? This is great. Yeah, it's a red-blue with a spell copying commander. Let's see, we're going to pass to combat so they can make their goblin. They'll declare attacks. That's fine. We're going to zap somebody. Oh, we're taking 4 here. They probably got some burn. Yeah, let's just shoot the big one. Probably bounce the token off of this Fading Hope. See if we can't get something good. But yes, it is at least a extended art Arcane Bombardment that I do own the physical copy of. And as soon as the artist... Yeah, I believe it's the same as this Lightning Bolt, actually. Let's see. Yeah, Marta Neal? As soon as they come to a convention near me, we're going to get it signed. Might even pick up the full art print. Nothing for us to counter. No thanks on the island on the top. That's going to take care of enthusiasts. We will take 1 from the Trap Finder. Cabaret Revel is actually doing some nice work here. Thankfully, this Wanderer fits under both Brotherhood's End and Burn Down the House. Oh, I missed this coming into play. Goblin Influx Array. Goblins cost less to cast. Beginning your end step, conjure a random card into your hand. See, now this is the draw of Alchemy for me. Give me that random Hearthstone-y experience with some magic properties. All right, so we've got Counterspell and some other things under here. Let's burn it down. It's not guaranteed we're going to pick up the Brotherhood's End, but of course we do. We'll do it anyway. And is there any token we can Fading Hope just to get the Scry? No, so we'll just decline that. Great. We're trying to get to the point, and I think we've reached that, where we've got on-demand sweepers under Bombardment. So as long as they can't remove that, we're pretty safe. And then we're going to try to switch it over to cut your losses and not let them get too much direct damage on the board, like old Ember Hauler here. Great. Doing some discarding and seeking. Mechanaut. Revel's going to seek something else out. So that's seeking, that's not conjuring. So that is pulling a real card out of their deck. Haste, goblins get something. Get to cast more goblins. All right. Still nothing that protects the goblins so much. Sure. Yes. Alrighty. Let's do... do a blast on that. We know we're going to pick up a Brotherhood's End, which is going to kill the Horde Masters, which is going to kill everything else. It's a good question. Can we absorb our own spell? We can. We can. Something to keep in mind. Going to sweep the board and start lightning striking our opponent as a backup win condition. Hi, Ian. Good to see you in the chat. So they're going to be able to cast this until the end of their next turn. But we're going to be able to control the board at instant speed, so we just need to keep the instants coming. I think we're set up for our next couple of turns. Influx Array. So nice. All right, we've already triggered Bombardment. We've got a land. Let's cut some losses. Great. Get a big score. Discarding a land. Lightning Strike to the face. Brotherhood's End to take care of the Mechanaut over there. We are at kind of a low life total, so we really do need to hurry this up. Get a squee down there, which is not a huge deal. All right, well, let's pass it on over. So now the goal is to get Display of Power and start copying that. Opponent with only 14 cards left in the library, though. Yeah, Ben, I think that was in the back of my mind earlier with all this seeking versus conjuring. So it is like thinning the deck out, and you're getting all these creatures, but if they can't protect them, we can just wipe them whenever we want. And then pretty soon you're left with, I mean, these could all be lands for all we know. All right, there was something left to seek. It's another squee. Yep, twin shot gonna hit us for 2. We are dangerously low now. Although with all these seek cards, perhaps they're leaning on stuff like Sniper. Oh no! Relic Robber, that's even more damage. But does it have to attack first? Oh, it has to hit us first before we get this painful token it's trying to give us. Battlecry Goblin, sure. Alright, so what does this do? Pack Tactics, it makes a token, and this has to hit us to do even more damage. Squeeze going to make a token. Yeah, go ahead. Couple of triggers. Sure. One more. We are going to hit the face. All right. Now's the tricky part. We're going to lightning strike the face. We are going to big score this other bombardment. And now burn down the house. Devils. That goes on the stack first. Then Brotherhood's End damage goes on the stack last. We're not going to do any of these things. I suppose we could Fading Hope that token. Gets us the scry. So that's going to resolve in reverse order now. So Fading Hope, that goes first. We'll get rid of that land. Brotherhood's End is going to sweep. Now we create Devils. Now we draw 3 to the face. And 2 more for the scry. Free card from the Influx Array. Great. All right. Well, I was hoping to finish this with a cut your losses, but it's a little dangerous. Yeah, opponent sees it coming. Good game. Hey, we won a game on stream with Bombardment. It can happen. A Storm Bombardment deck. Oh, yeah, I was talking about that one. That's, well, that could be 2 of them. So there's one that uses 1,000-Year Storm to just copy things. But if you're talking Storm in the Grape Shot sense, then that's Mind Splice Apparatus, which could be fun. I'm a little rusty on that version, but we could play that one soon, too. Let me try one more of this display of power deck, and then I might switch over to some historic. Try to grape shot some people. So, the way this deck got created in the first place, I told you somebody was asking about cut your losses, but the actual bones of the deck was something else we used because when we took stuff out that had display of power in it, we ended up copying a lot of card draw spells like Invoke Despair and Big Score. And a lot of our opponents happen to be running things like Shieldred, which punish you for drawing cards just like the Orcish Bowmasters do. And so when your opponent essentially gets like 8 copies of that card in their hand, it's bad times for a control deck that wants to draw a bunch of cards and kind of go off that way. So I started leaning on Impulse to like actually put things into our hand. A couple of other things that can, conjure some stuff up. So that's how we ended up here. And then it ended up looking a lot more like a standard deck. Although I will say the Oracle of the Alpha creature that conjures the super expensive cards like Black Lotus into your deck, that's a fun one. All right, opponent sporting some Jund colors here. Aggressive creature. I'm going to do a cheap Jace just to give him something to focus on here. The unfortunate thing for me about Alchemy, as fun as these cards are with the conjuring, etc., is that every time an Alchemy set comes out, it's like, all right, now I got to collect a whole other set of cards in addition to the regular ones that we need for standard. I still contend they should have made Alchemy as like a lost leader. Give us those fun cards for free. That way the people who don't want to spend money can come in and play. But if you want the good standard stuff, you got to pay just like everybody else. So this is the card, this Crucias. They just nerfed this. It used to be a 3/3, and yesterday they changed it to be a 3/1. I still don't understand exactly what people were doing with it to make it so troublesome, but I think they were playing it with, what, the One Ring and the Bowmasters. Discarding something and seeking something with greater mana value. That's not bad. He's a pirate, and here I thought he was a goblin all this time. All right, we're at 4 mana. We're set up to Big Score. Let's at least keep Jace alive for the time being. So yeah, do any of you know what was the problem with Crucias? What was it doing that was so problematic? yeah, exactly. When you look at other games, it's like they give away things for free because like that's people want to play the game and you need them to come in and play the game. Anyway, opponent's trying to Shieldred me here. We'll use our single solitary counterspell on that. Might have to main phase a Big Score. You can sometimes let Shieldred go, just do the Big Score beforehand, land the bombardment afterwards. But, like, as you can see, Big Score is all we've got. And the only way Jace is going to help us is by drawing more cards. So they sought a 1-mana card, if I'm reading that right. They discarded a Bankbuster for 2. So that means they seek a 1-mana or 0-mana card. Gonna Big Score away our land. Okay, good. We drew the land. We're gonna play that. Keep Crucias in check with Jace. pass it on over. Ah, that's why we've got so many colors in this deck. All right. So Jace is down. Next turn, they're going to be able to bounce a permanent and make us discard something. So we're going to have to wait just a moment on Bombardment here. Played that land here because we do have a fair amount of 2 and 1 mana stuff in our deck. I'm trying to set us up where we can lay Bombardment, play it immediately, and hopefully dig up a big score to kind of keep things going until we can untap. Also, we can't play Bombardment here because they're going to bounce it. Let's do... Ugh, I forgot about the discard. Yeah, sure. Oh, Tasha's fun. Love that card. So we're going to get a brief window where the Kami War flips over.
Don't come any closer.
I see. Probably building up to the -6 over there. Probably going to take 3 from the Crucias here. So this is just a free program. It's like VideoTube or something like that. You can plug in various images that you create, and it will animate them based on the sound input that you choose. All right. Well, this is our window. We'll see if this sticks around or not. Time to play Bombardment. Yeah, so it's free, and then you can drag it in as a source to OBS and resize it as necessary. But the fun thing is you can also assign hotkeys. So I only have a couple of expressions at the moment. So I give my opponent, who just played Shieldred, for example, you get the squinty eyes now. I see what you're doing over there, and I don't like it. Remember what I was saying earlier about big score and Shieldred? All right, so these are the things we can pick up with Bombardment. None of it very good. So if we big score here to activate, we're going to take 4 from Shieldred and drop to 6. All right, well, I think we need to do it. We're going to discard Cut Your Losses. Try to dig for something that actually does something. Ouch! Yeah, sure. See, impulses. You guys are what we needed before. Burn down the house. Yep. All right. Burn down the house. We can do it. That will get rid of Shieldred, keep Tasha in check, and get rid of Crucias, and we'll just have to deal with the Okagachi. I guess we're doing it.
Look at you. That actually hurt.
Plussing Tasha.
Give it your best shot, adventurers.
This does something when it attacks, correct? We choose something in their graveyard to give it back to them. Means we probably got to impulse now. All right, Shieldred's gone. We can cut our losses. So we are going to do that. We're going to big score away our lounge and see what we can find. That's less than ideal. No other play here. Have to return this to our opponent's hand, which they can then use to get rid of Bombardment. And we're kind of right back into that couple of turn cycle where we need to do some stuff on a clock. Yeah, opponent, by all means, if you've got something, go for it. Opponent's probably like, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll play this card again. That's fine. Passes it on over. Let's hit Tasha. Opponent's going to bounce our treasure and make us discard, so we'll discard Burn Down the House to the Kami War. Oh, bounces Tasha instead. Okay. Oh, Key to the Archive. One of the original Alchemy cards, right? So they get to go drafting a card. There's numerous things in here that they can get. Time Warp, Counterspell, Demonic Tutor, or Lightning Bolt. All right. All right. Well, the suffering is over. Good game. All right. Well, I think next we're going to dip back into Historic for a little bit. And I just want to try and show you and actually refresh my own memory about the Mindsplice Apparatus deck from back there. Let's see. It is pretty far back. Let's see. Hopefully we still have it. Yes, there it is. Yeah, Revitalize is a pretty good card. And there's also in Alchemy 2 the White Remand. Forget what that card is called, but also pretty good. Boros Bombardment, one of the strongest colors, red and white, because you get all of the life gain that keeps you alive against aggressive decks. You can even throw in Vindicators if you want to. Pretty good. So, yeah, as you can see, for those of you who are here for the earlier Mindsplice deck list from Standard, this was the original that kind of inspired all of that other stuff. And so we're trying to put counters on the Mindsplice Apparatus. We're trying to get up to 3 counters and then do Big Scores and Pirate's Pillage. It nets us mana and keeps drawing cards, keeps us moving through the deck. And then eventually we storm off with a Grape Shot that does 1 damage for each spell we've actually cast this turn. And so with this deck, it can be quite high. And then we can copy Grape Shot. We can, or not copy it, we can pull it out of the graveyard and cast it a second time. So if you only get Storm Count up to 10, we can redo it. And Mind's Desire is also just a fantastic Storm card that sometimes we can get to and just pull more stuff out. We even get access to Solve the Equation. This is a card that, speaking of Commander, has really increased in value in Commander just because tutors are so highly valued there. And it was printed at Uncommon. So this has really kind of pushed beyond what a usual Uncommon card costs in the paper realm. Unholy Heat, we just replaced this with the shock equivalent in Standard and used Lightning Strike 2. It's just meant to kind of keep us alive, maybe add to the storm count, but not super important. And we get to play with Magma Opus again, so who doesn't like that? So yeah, let's try at least one with these, and then I really want to try the Tolvata deck that I made. We're trying to reanimate Itali, but we're cramming it into a black and white mid-rangey control shell. Hello, Hamani. Thank you so much. That's very kind. I'm glad that you're keeping the Arcane Bombardment alive. I will do my best here. So from what I'm remembering about this deck, we kind of need to mulligan heavily into Mind Splice since we don't have anything here like an Impulse that's going to find it. All right, we're going to try this. Put back a big score. There's a Pillage. We're going to play Steam Vents tapped. Okay, Unholy Heat. And I'm trying to remember the most valuable colors here. I think it's still... Well, I don't know. We're just going to play this. Opponent clearly not aggressive. Yeah, this land probably giving us a taste of what's going to happen. All right, end of turn Impulse. Just looking for Mind Splice right now. Great, we found it. And now we just need land number 3. There it is. And we need our opponent. Yep, go ahead. You've got that right. Bombardment will live forever in Historic, and you can get up to some pretty bananas things over there. This is good for us. No, wait. Nope, sorry, wrong turn. This is fine. Yeah, we need our opponent to be very proactive here, and we also need to tell them that we don't have any counter spells so that they will do something on their next turn. This is very, very important to the Bombardment game plan. Or, sorry, the Apparatus game plan. You can tell where my head's at. So yes, we let that through. Please do something proactive right now. Great. Also, if you're really fast on the button there, oh, nuts. All right, well, one thing we could do, so opponent's not too threatening right now, and they're most likely sitting on a counterspell. We could offer them the trade of Big Score. Big Score is very tempting to counter. They don't do it. All right. Well, we're still our win con is flashable, and we got to wait for the right moment until we get a second Mind Splice. Oh yeah, I've never seen Primal or never played Primal Amulet Wellspring, but I think I've seen it go off a little bit, and it's pretty impressive. All right, opponent. Yep. So the other thing that Big Score did was give us 2 mana in case they've got Make Disappear. Ugh. We'll try it. I got enough cards where we can go looking for another one. All right. So now the question, do you have removal? Who knows? So anyway, here's how we do this now. Mind Splice is in play with a counter on it. We just proliferate this up to 3. Yep. Draw a card there. There's Bond of Insight. That helps us recycle some things. We're going to use the plans first because they're the worst. Solve the equation. Pretty good. And that's what? 2 spells so far. Now we get to big score. We're going to discard land. Yeah, so opponent still definitely clicking the button on all of this. Pirate's Pillage, discarding Steam Vents. Now we're going to play the land. Now we're going to Bond of Insight to go get back our big scores. Opponent realizing they might have to start doing something here. So trying to exile our thing. I'm not sure that we've got an instant speed way to counter that, but let me go taking a look anyway. All right, so let's pull up Magma Opus. They're going to exile that, but we actually, I think we have enough to Mind's Desire. And what do we want back here? Probably still... I'm going to take big score and I think an Opus, just for fun. All right, so now Storm count's up to 7. We're just going to spin the wheel here with Mind's Desire. So we basically get to shuffle, look at the top 7 things, and cast all of them for free this turn. All right. So we're going to start with Pirate's Pillage. Discard Unholy Heat. Yeah, this is the Poké deck for sure. Big score again. There's Grape Shot. All right, is there a way we can do this? I could solve the equation for a Bond of Insight. I think that's good. So let's cast some spells first. Yep. Augury. We'll take Mind's Place. Submit 0. Augury again. Bond. Submit 0. Solve the equation just because. Yep, just trying to see if there's anything cool we can get with that. Yeah, we'll just take big score. Great. So I believe we've got enough left to do this. No, we don't, but it would have worked. So we could have just grape shotted. That would have cost us 2. We wouldn't have had enough to get back the Bond of Insight, but we were very close. At any rate, that's just a small taste of how that deck works. All right, got a few minutes left here. I'm going to claim some rewards. We're going to try out this highly untested deck for Standard. We're going to play a little bit of Tolvata. Invasion of Tolvata, one of my favorite cards to play with, lets us reanimate something, and then if we want to flip it over by attacking it, we get to create tokens and make a kind of control deck win condition for ourselves. So it changed around a couple of cards in the early game. We got some Farmhand and some Parasitic Grasp to go with Go for the Throat to keep us alive. We've got Lily in the 3-drops to help us discard some cards and control the board. Phyrexian Arena has been pretty good to just keep us drawing into some cards. And I've taken out a lot of the token cards that I had in before. So we're down to just 1 Wedding Announcement instead of 4, taking out Mondrak, and I think I had a couple other token producers in here as well. Leaning away from that plan and going with just the big dinosaur plan of Italy. And this was kind of inspired by a Sonio list. I don't know if you all watch Sonio, but they had a Invasion of Tolvata control list, they were trying to reanimate, what was it, Phyrexian Portal, and one with the multiverse. So they were dipping into blue a little bit. And I tried that out because I really like their style of deck building in general, always very entertaining to watch. But for me, what I found with that deck was that, like, I just don't like one with the multiverse that much. You need extra stuff to do in your hand, so it doesn't have as much of an immediate impact if you can get that out onto the board early on. So anyway, that's why I thought, hey, Atali, we can reanimate it with Invasion, and it's not breach the multiverse. So we're going to try that here. We're going to go standard ranked. Always make sure you're in the correct format. All right, we'll keep this for now. Got our nice control cards for standard. The render inert is here to immediately flip over the battle. It conveniently has 5 counters on it. Draws us a card in the process. Soul Partition the draw. Really nice card to delay our opponent with. So Obscura Storefront. Opponent going to go looking for a land. There's the Invasion. Oh yeah, and that reminds me. So the other thing about the kind of more Sonio Reanimator style of deck, that's a fantastic draw, is that compared to, I think, my mid-rangey version, we were able to put permanents on the board on turns 3 and 4, and so that the opponent can use their interaction on them, put them in the graveyard, and then we reanimate them on turn 5. Whereas the kind of higher-end reanimator list really depends on us putting them in the graveyard and then just using spells in the early game, so we don't always have as much of a target for Invasion as soon as we get it down. Which, as you can see, is kind of the issue we're running into here. Although if this arena sticks around, we'll probably be finding some stuff to do pretty soon. Oh yeah, and we've also included Big Score in here to just help that along a little bit. Toss a Go for the Throat. Opponent just passing it on over. So do they have a handful of removal too? What are they waiting for? Big Score away this Caves. There's a Celestis, something else that can help us discard. But we may just want to draw with it here. Try to find one of our late game things. Because we can actually afford to cast most of it now. Sheoldred is a thing to do. We're going to play out some permanents here, see if we can't get them to use something on it. And we're just going to throw out Sheoldred on an empty board. Yep, Shauna very good. Had a nice Bant control list several weeks ago that was pretty fun. That may be one card I actually don't have a physical copy of right now. All right, opponent. All right, come on, opponent. We're just trying to get some big dinosaurs out here. Liesa. All right. Draw an extra card. There's the Eternal Wanderer. That's pretty good. We're going to go attacking because we can. Remove that angel. Play some more permanents to the board. Trying to give you some tempting targets here. Eternal Wanderer was in here in the old version of the deck, and I kept it in because I really want to live the dream where we exile Etali after reanimating it and then bring it back and get another trigger out of it. Opponent's taking a look around. They may want to be reanimating stuff of their own, but we haven't seen a whole lot of creatures from them yet. I will say Phyrexian Arena, pretty strong. Just a nice way for a control deck to stay in the game and draw some cards. Exile all creatures and incubate. Okay. And an Adeline. All right. Drawing some more stuff here. Just going to throw out that depopulate, start working on the board a little bit. I don't think there's anything down there to reanimate yet. Could throw Tolvata down on an empty board if we have enough stuff to hit it. Right, farmhand. See, I'm used to seeing this. Hi, JP. Yeah, Bombardment. Super Friends could be good. Definitely see a few Planeswalkers in there, but somebody else was posting, this might even been you, about putting some ultimatums together into an old Bombardment deck. So that would be very much on the discard and reuse with Bombardment train. Opponent going to start making tokens as well. Good, that means we can render inert their copy of the Wanderer. Is that a human? No, it's not. Okay. A parasitic grasp of that creature. gain a little bit of life. Let's remove all counters from their Wanderer. Get to draw a card.
We'll regroup elsewhere.
Come on, Atali, you're in here somewhere. We're going to attack with this creature. Make another token.
I brought back.
Might as well draw now just to see. Opponent's got a breach. Oh, now watch. They're going to take our Atali. Yep, let's take a look. Did they find one? Yep, there it is. Could take one of our planeswalkers, I suppose. What did they flip over? Elish Norn. Could get back something else. Well, we've got the depopulate for that. And then I think we'll have enough mana left over to reincarnate our Atali. All right, what did you get? Our Emperor, looks like, and their farmhand.
Run away. You'll be safer.
All right, transforms the token. Great, puts a counter on the incubator token. So yeah, I think we're gonna just depopulate this. Or are they trying to hit our Eternal Wanderer? Could be. Just say no to that and exile it. Just to keep our options open. Gonna draw a couple of cards. Gonna hit the depopulate button. Gonna do Invasion of Tolvata. We're gonna do what we came here to do, and that's get some Atali triggers out of it. And let's see, we're going to cast Ossification. We're going to target this land. And we'll cast another Invasion, why not? And we'll get back Big Kaya, which we flipped over there. And we'll take care of their Wanderer.
Still have much
Awesome.
to learn.
And then let's... let's exile that.
You're coming with
Live in the dream.
Just give up already.
Start hitting our opponent there. We managed to steal a Liesa out of that deal. Don't know how that happened. And I guess the farmhand they cast was ours. So the Liesa trigger brought it back to our hand. Another option, too, if this survives, opponent with a Dusk Legion Duelist. I had that in the Bant Control deck. It's fun to put counters on, which might be what they're going for here to draw a card.
I hope you're ready to lose.
Yep.
I have got new moves to teach.
Drawing a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say we have enough to flip a tally on our opponent's turn and probably get rid of that creature, so managed to get there. Good game. All right, well, I got to go, so thank you everybody for joining today. Really appreciate it. Glad you could join for a little bombarding, a little mind splicing, etc. I'm going to try to get some videos ready for next week while I am out of town, but then I'll be back and ready for preview season as we get closer to Eldraine release in September. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks very much for sticking around. And as always, reach out and let me know if there are certain decks you want me to try. If you've got a version of Bombardment you want me to take for a spin, could end up in a video. And that's always a lot of fun. I love seeing what you all come up with. So at any rate, thank you again for joining me, and I will see you around the internets. Bye-bye, y'all.